Get this out of the way. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for coming, everyone. Great to be here at Texas Pinball Festival again. Love coming out here to Texas. I made sure to go to a Texas barbecue yesterday because we don't have anything like that in Southern California. So which one did we go to, Dave? Hutchin, yeah. It was fabulous. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry? Oh, it wasn't too bad. It was about half an hour, but it was a long line. So I'm here to talk about our product, the Pinnunciator. The cool thing about this product is it allows you to add all kinds of cool effects to your existing machine without writing any code. And that really makes things a lot easier when you're doing these things. My business partner is Dave Street here. He's sitting right over here, and I'm Brad Oldham. In 2021, we did the Alien Apron and Lighting mod for the Pinball Brothers Alien machine, and we did it from scratch. We were commissioned to do the electronics part of it, and we hired a team from the Netherlands to do the actual hardware. And it was quite an adventure. It took several months to get everything together, and we ran into all kinds of problems, of course. But these are the basic specs of the Alien Apron. It had 8 input triggers, 5 LED strips with 12 different lighting effects. A lot of C++ code was needed to get all this stuff working, and a lot of trial and error and retesting and hardware. Same thing with hardware. I mean, we had multiple revisions of the board. It was quite a fun adventure. So here's some of the challenges that we experienced while we were doing that project. We had the time and cost for the software development. We had multiple hardware revisions, like I just mentioned, and delays in PCB manufacturing. Of course, every pinball machine's different. Even some of the Pinball Brothers Alien models that were released over the years, they changed a few things in there, so those were also challenges. And then we wanted to provide the customer with some easy way to customize certain aspects of our mod. So we needed some kind of user interface that allowed them to do that. So after that project, we were successful with the project. We sold quite a few Alien aprons, and it was a fun project. Also, I own an Alien, so I really only want to do projects for machines that I own, because that makes sure that ensures that I really do a good job at it, because I'm doing it for myself, really. I mean, I really did the Alien apron for myself, and as a side, benefit, we were able to sell a bunch of aprons. So after that project, I thought, why don't we create a new version of this hardware that allows you to use it for any pinball machine and make it totally configurable so you can do all the stuff that we did with the Alien apron, plus more, and you can you can modify it to be exactly how you want it to work. So I should mention the Pinnunciator. It supports LED strips, servo motors. It has up to 9 input triggers. 9 input triggers can be coils, lamps, switches, or light sensing like photoresistors. 6 LED channels you could hook up LED strips to. You can hook up knocker coils and shaker motors. So you can control all that. You could add all those different things to an existing pinball machine. So this is the Pinnunciator controller board. It runs on an Arduino Nano. It has 3 RJ45 ports for connecting your I/O boards. I'll talk about the I/O boards in just a second. So the RJ45 cables allows for some cleaner wiring in your machine. I know everybody who's done a mod to their machine, they know how quickly they can get into a rat's nest of wires underneath their play field. I've certainly experienced it. So those RJ40, the Cat6 cables really help. We have 6 JST ports for connecting the LED strips to. We support WS2811 and WS2815. These are 12-volt strips. The WS2811, every 3 LEDs are addressable. For WS2815, every single LED is addressable. That's the main difference, but they're both 12-volt strips. So you can buy pre-wired LEDs from our shop, or you can make your own. We have the wiring diagram on our website in the documentation. So if you feel comfortable with it, by all means, you can buy a roll of it and make your own LED strips. So you can configure up to 64 individual LED segments per channel, and you can daisy chain the LEDs. And if you want like one LED here and one LED there, you can daisy chain them together if you want, and just control individual LED segments. It also supports any PWM compliant device, so that's where the servo motors come in. You can send PWM values out to any device like that. It can be configured via USB port or Bluetooth with a Bluetooth module. So the I/O boards, you can hook up 3 I/O boards to our Pinnunciator controller. Each I/O board has 3 input ports. So you could have up to 9 inputs total if you have 3 I/O boards connected. This particular I/O board is the photoresistor I/O board, which is light sensor. So you could hook up photoresistors to these 3 inputs, and you can put those next to LEDs to trigger your effects. That's the safest and easiest way to do it, and quite frankly, I've done that. I have that in my Funhouse pinball machine, and it works great. I have it on 3 strategically selected LEDs, and it does a great job at detecting and triggering the effects that I want. Let's see, anything else? Every I/O board has a high voltage digital output as well. So that's the blue connector on the right. It allows you to connect a shaker motor or a beacon or even a knocker coil and you can select any voltage you want. So you just supply the power of, if it's a 48 volt coil, you supply a 48 volts, and then you can control a 48 volt device. So this is the other I/O board we sell, which is the Signal I/O board. And this allows you can connect 3 inputs to any, to a switch, a lamp, or a coil. The type depends on what resistor network you have placed in there. You can see the 220R to 100K label there. Right above it is the resistor network. So just by swapping that out, you can support switches or lamps with a lower value resistor network. And we sell these on our site for the appropriate voltage that you select when you order them. This I/O board uses opto isolators to ensure that the electrical signal in your game doesn't ever mesh with the electrical signal of the Pinnunciator. It keeps them completely separate, which really makes things a lot safer. You just want to make sure you don't end up with a dead short and shorting out a transistor in your game. The resistor in this board that you see here is 100K ohm, so that ensures that you're not going to dead short. Let's see here. What else do I need to say about this? It does support switch matrices. I have one of these in my funhouse machine connected to the 2 slingshots. So every time the ball hits one slingshot, the left blade of LEDs flashes yellow. Right slingshot, the right side flashes yellow. It's really a cool effect. So this is what a complete Pinnunciator setup looks like. You have one Pinnunciator board, and then you'll have 3 I/O boards connected to it for a total of 9 digital inputs, 3 digital outputs, and then the 6 channels for the LED strips. Let's see, yeah, each I/O board has the 3 inputs, 1 port for WS2811, and the 1 digital output. So this is the best part of this whole setup, because like I said earlier, you don't need any kind of custom coding, or you don't need to write a single line of code to do any of this. We have this software called the Lightshow Studio, and it allows you to configure your inputs, your outputs, your patterns that you want to apply to your LED strips, and then the rules allow you to say, I want this input to trigger this pattern on this strip or at this channel, or trigger this digital output like a shaker motor, or send the PWM signal to a servo motor to send it to a certain position. So there's a lot of power in this, and the cool thing is, as you're developing your mod, you can easily make changes quickly rather than having to change line of code, recompile, re-upload, and all that stuff. I mean, it's a real time saver. Having done my funhouse mods, it was apparent how easy it was compared to when I did the Alien mod. So this is just an example of the Lightshow Studio rules that you can set up all sorts of different timing. You specify the on inputs and the off the on trigger and the off trigger. So the on trigger can be based on, there's timing you can set up. You can say that the input is not going to be triggered for 2 seconds after the signal is received from whatever you have it hooked up to. It can ensure that the input is stable. So let's say you have a ball rolling over a switch, but you only want it to trigger once a ball is stuck on that switch and the switch is being held down. You can say it has to be held down for 2 seconds before I want this thing to trigger. You can also say it has to be toggling at the input has to be toggling, like an LED has to be toggling on and off at a certain rate before it triggers. So there's all kinds of things you can do in here. So you specify when you want the rule to turn on, when you want it to turn off. That's very powerful. And then you specify the output channel you want it to go to, the effect type. There's probably 6 or 7 effect types: pulsating, strobing, scrolling, and scrolling back and forth, all sorts of effects there. You can also do gradients as well. And then you specify the pattern that you want for the effect that you've defined under patterns. So Lightshow Studio allows you to quickly and easily make the changes to your mod, and allows your customers, let's say you have a mod you want to sell, you can just say, hey, go to, Evolution Mods site, and you can go on there and you can customize this however you want. You can change the colors, you can change the timing, and whatever you want to do. It's just a config file. It's a JSON config file. You can let the customer do what they want, and then have like a default one that works. They could always resort back to the default. So this is new for 2026. Previously, we only had a Windows version of this app, and this is, I wanted to get a version that worked on multiple platforms for a while. So now we have a web application that does the same thing as the Windows application, that supports Windows, Mac, Linux, Android. iPhone still needs some testing, but we'll get to that shortly. So it kind of opens the doors for more platforms for people to start using this. I know there's been a lot of requests for Mac. We finally got there. We have something that we think is going to work very well. This is still fairly new, so in the next couple weeks we're going to be continue to test it and work through any bugs. But it is available on our site, so you can start to test it. And if you're willing, it would be great if you could help us identify bugs so we could get them fixed quickly. So that is the presentation. I have a video I can play really quickly that'll kind of give you a kind of an idea of what it took for me to get my funhouse set up. And let's see here. Is this one? Okay.
We've been so busy developing the Pinnunciator that we haven't had time to enjoy it. Finally, we decided to install some side blades in our funhouse machine. Keep watching and you'll see what happens when Rudy falls asleep.
Really cool effect. I love that effect. Every time Rudy falls asleep, it kind of freaks me out.
For this project, we used 3 inputs using photoresistor cables connected to one photoresistor I/O board. We are using only 2 LED channels, one for each side blade. In the future, we could add another 6 inputs and 4 additional LED strips to this machine. If we ever needed more than that, there's nothing preventing us from using 2 Pinnunciators, giving us 18 inputs and 12 LED channels maximum. We attached the photoresistors with zip ties and positioned them where it made sense. We're using the midnight arrow, the flasher in front of Rudy's mouth, and the blue flasher on the right of the playfield as our 3 inputs. Now that we have completed this project with the Pinnunciator, we realized that there were a few things that we didn't expect. First, installing the side blades was way easier than we thought it would be. We just connected them with Velcro, and they can easily be taken off to lift up the playfield. They can also be mounted with the LEDs pointing downward for games where seeing the LEDs is undesirable. Second, installing the Pinnunciator was easy too. For now, we just plugged it into the operator's service outlet. We will install a dedicated 12-volt power supply later. Third, after getting the Pinnunciator installed in our game, we were surprised at the level of excitement that we felt while we were configuring the light shows for it. It was extremely rewarding to see our light shows materialize. Fourth, even though we developed the Pinnunciator, we were absolutely shocked at how easy and fast it was to configure our light shows exactly how we wanted them. We spent less than half an hour configuring everything you see, and a few minutes over the next few days while we were playing the game and tweaking where we found it was needed. And finally, once the project was complete, we were amazed at the end result.
So that was just the first phase of the project. After this, I went on to add another I/O board and added some more lighting effects, hooked up to some coils, and
it was as if Williams was.
It's just really fun to think of new effects that you can add to your machine and like what you would like to happen when some trigger occurs. I had a customer come and talk to us in our booth, and he said, yeah, I talked to you yesterday, and then last night I was laying in bed and I was just, all these ideas for this my machine were just coming to my mind. And it's like, well, welcome to the club. That's exactly what I do. So anyway, it's really fun. It really enables people to add some mods to their machines that they wouldn't have otherwise been able to. And I mean, I'm a software engineer, but I would much rather develop mods this way than write lines of code to get the types of effects and functionality that I want. So I have another video, but I think I'm going to instead open it up to any questions. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, could you say a little bit louder? Yeah, that would be great. Let's look if we had a mic. Yeah, come on now.
Test. Okay, just make sure it's not too loud. Are you essentially listening in to the signals on any game by the lights that flash in order to, like, you don't need code, you listen to like the 12 o'clock? Am I understanding?
Yeah, that's the purpose of these light sensors. So yeah, one of these light sensors is just kind of zip tied by the 12 o'clock, and it's looking for when the 12 o'clock is either solid or it's flashing at a very, very fast rate. When I first implemented this, I didn't know why it was not detecting at 12 o'clock. And it turns out it's because that 12 o'clock is toggling very, 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 very quickly. It's not really on solid.
Okay.
So that's when I added the feature to detect the fast toggling. So that was one of those things that you just don't anticipate.
Do those photoreceptors come with the Pinnunciator?
They're sold separately, but they're relatively cheap, and you could build them yourself if you want to. I think we sell them for like $5 on our site for these cables. But we do have a starter kit that we sell on our site for $150 that includes the main board, a photoresistor board, and all the cables you need to get a basic setup going. It includes some LED strips too, but it's basically everything you need to at least start putting something together. And then you can always add on more I/O boards if you want. We also have a side blades kit that comes with more stuff. So there's just kind of different levels. Other questions? Yes, sir.
So I'm a complete dummy when it comes to any sort of electrical engineering or electricity whatsoever. So this sounds easy, but when you say things like dead shorting and resistor this and amp that, that's all Greek to me. So do you have like a resource that comes with this, or that you could point us to where we could figure out what those things are and get over that hurdle? Well, there's a lot of resources on the internet. We have some resources in our documentation. I'm not sure if it's exactly what you're looking for, but I can tell you that the photoresistor route is the safest way that you could do something like this, because there is absolutely no electrical connection to your machine at all that way. The kits that we sell come with a power supply that you can plug in separately if you want. You don't have to like tie it into the power of the machine even. So really anybody could do it with the photoresistors, in my opinion. If you can go in underneath the play field and zip tie some stuff and run some wires, and you can get everything working outside your machine first, make sure you know how to do it, and then after you're done with that, you can put in your machine and then start to make configuration changes. Any other questions?
So to his question, you want to show him on your site that you were shining the flashlight at the photo light? Maybe that will answer his question better.
Yeah. If you look at our site, I think there's a video up there where I'm shining a flashlight on the photoresistor and showing how it's triggering effects. Go ahead.
Can you trigger the light shows and things that you've done without actually having to download it to the board and actually have the triggers hit so you can test what they look like before you trigger them and see them?
Not really. There is some test functionality built into the Light Show Studio application, so you could see when a rule is running, and you can see when inputs are triggered, so you can like troubleshoot. You want to make sure that the inputs are actually getting fired, that sort of thing. But you can't see the actual light show running. That's a great future enhancement, though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big enhancement, but I think it could be done. So maybe in the future, once we get this, we're planning on continuing to enhance the web version of this application. So that might be a future feature for
Yeah,
that.
okay. So another upgrade you could do is somehow interact sound, so you have a module that lets you output sound effects when we hit the triggers, and you can add your own sound to it.
I can't tell you how many times we've heard that at this show. I was talking to somebody, and we kind of collectively had the idea, oh, well, we have PWM control, and I don't know if there's modules that you can just buy where you can trigger sound effects via PWM, but there's definitely projects where you can build something that does that. So we could certainly, it could certainly be done with PWM. You just send a different pulse and trigger whatever different effects you want. Any other questions? Really appreciate you guys coming out. This is a pretty good showing, and it's great to hear your questions. It's evolutionmodsllc.com. The new light show studio is on the site, and we've got our shop on there. You can get all the stuff you need there. We also have some stock here at Texas Pinball Festival, but we're getting low there. So anyway, there's always our website, but appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you so much.